Okay, here it goes. This is probably the hardest thing I've ever had to say out loud. And honestly, even just thinking about speaking it feels like a physical weight pressing down on my chest. I'm shaking a little, you can probably see it. I guess I just need to get this off my chest, to tell someone, even if that someone is a camera and a screen full of strangers. My name is Sarah, and I cheated. I cheated on Mark, my partner of 7 years. We live a quiet life, a comfortable life. We have our routines, our shared jokes, our favorite takeout on a Friday night. Everyone says we're the perfect couple. We always laugh it off, but deep down, I always believed it too. Or at least, I wanted to believe it. Until 3 months ago. It was a business trip. Just a few days in Chicago. I fly for work a lot. It's nothing new. Usually, it's just me, my laptop, room service, and the odd work dinner. This time, though. This time felt different from the moment I landed. The city was buzzing, alive in a way our quiet suburban town isn't. The hotel was swanky, a little too luxurious for my usual taste, and for the first time in a long time, I felt anonymous. Like I could shed my skin, just for a few days, and nobody would know. Nobody would care. The first evening was a networking event. Drinks were flowing, conversations were light, music was playing a little too loud. I was doing my job, smiling, shaking hands, making small talk. I called Mark earlier that day, just a quick, "I landed safely, love you." Everything was normal, routine. And then I saw him. He wasn't drop-dead gorgeous, not in a movie star way, but there was something about his confidence, the way he held himself, that caught my eye. He was laughing with a group, an easy, genuine laugh. We ended up in the same circle, and he introduced himself as David, a random, friendly face from another company. We started talking. It was just easy, no expectations, no history. He didn't know about my long-term relationship, about our mortgage, about the conversations Mark and I had about our future. He just saw me, Sarah, a woman in a nice dress, laughing at his jokes. And I saw him, David, a man who seemed genuinely interested in what I had to say, not just what I represented. The drinks helped, of course. The inhibitions started to melt away, replaced by a fizzy, unfamiliar lightness. There was a moment. A pause in the conversation, a shared look across the crowded room. And something clicked. A spark. A dangerous, exhilarating spark. My heart started to beat faster, a rhythm I hadn't felt in years. Not from love, but from thrill. From the sheer, terrifying possibility of it all. My mind was screaming, "No, stop, you have Mark!" But a different part of me, a part I barely recognized, was whispering, "Just this once. Just see what happens." The group started to disperse, people heading back to their rooms. David leaned in, his voice low, his breath warm on my ear. "One more drink? My room has a better view." It was such a cliché. I knew it. Every fiber of my being knew it was wrong. But the thrill was intoxicating. It felt like I was standing on the edge of a cliff, and instead of stepping back, I was leaning forward, curious about the drop. I walked to his room. My legs felt like jelly, my palms were sweaty, and my heart was doing somersaults. It wasn't about love or even deep connection. It was about raw, unfiltered sensation. The stolen glances in the elevator, the quiet click of his door closing behind us, the rush of adrenaline as he finally kissed me. It was everything I hadn't felt in so long. The unfamiliarity of his touch, the intensity of the moment, the sheer daring of it all. It was reckless. It was completely selfish. And in that moment, in that hotel room, with a stranger whose last name I didn't even know, it felt like I was finally breathing. Like I was awake after a long, comfortable sleep. The guilt was a distant hum, easily drowned out by the pounding in my ears, the heat, the feeling of being wanted, desired in a way that felt entirely new and forbidden. For those brief hours, the only thing that existed was him, me, and the reckless abandon. When it was over, there was no lingering, no whispered promises, just a shared, silent acknowledgement of what had happened, and then a quick goodbye. I practically ran back to my room, my head spinning, and that's when it hit me, the crash. The second I closed my own hotel room door, the thrill evaporated, leaving behind a cold, desolate emptiness. The silence was deafening. My stomach clenched, bile rising in my throat. My hands were still shaking, but now it was from a different emotion entirely. Shame. What had I done? My mind screamed, replaying every horrifying detail. The image of Mark, his kind eyes, his trusting smile flashed before me. He was probably asleep in our bed, oblivious, loving me, while I was this. I was a stranger to myself. The guilt was a physical thing. It settled in my chest, a crushing weight that made it hard to breathe. I felt dirty, tainted. The lightness I'd felt earlier was replaced by a heavy, suffocating dread. David, the man who had occupied my thoughts and my body just moments before, was already fading into a blur, a ghost of a mistake. He was just a stranger, and that made it even worse. It wasn't about love or passion. It was about a moment of weakness, selfishness, and a desperate craving for something. I still don't fully understand what. The next day, I tried to act normal in meetings, nodding, contributing, while inside I was a storm of self-loathing. Every polite smile felt like a lie. Every word I spoke felt like a cover-up. The flight home was excruciating. I stared out the window, watching the familiar landscape appear, each landmark a reminder of the life I had just polluted. Walking back into our apartment, seeing Mark, felt like walking into a trap of my own making. He hugged me, kissed me, said he missed me. And I hugged him back, plastering on a smile, feeling the weight of the secret pressing down on me so hard I thought I might crack. I wanted to scream it, to confess everything and beg for forgiveness, but the words were stuck in my throat, tangled with fear and self-disgust. It's been 3 months. 3 months of living with this secret, and it's eating me alive. Every time Mark touches me, I flinch internally. Every time he says, "I love you," I feel like a fraud. I see myself differently now. I see the capacity for betrayal, for reckless selfishness that I never knew existed within me. I hate myself for it. I hate the lie I'm living. I hate the pain I've caused Mark, even though he doesn't know it yet. I don't know if I'll ever tell him. The thought terrifies me more than anything, but I also don't know how much longer I can carry this alone. Exhales. I don't expect absolution. I don't even know what I expect by putting this out here. Maybe just to release a tiny bit of the pressure. Maybe to feel like I've finally told someone, anyone. It happened. I did it. And it's a burden I don't know how to shake.